Welcome, yogis. This short practice is dedicated to all of those human beings who are busy spending big parts of their day sitting down and who want to just welcome a little bit of easy to fit into their life and routine movement into their day. We're going to spend a short amount of time moving through all of the areas of the body that tend to get a little congested when we're sitting down, focusing on opening up those areas in the front of the body and then strengthening a little bit through the back of the body. So it's going to feel like a really nice whole body practice that really gives you a sense of balance so that you physically stand up straighter, breathe with more ease, and can move into your day, weekend, wherever you are in the week when you practice with more ease and more comfort. So let's get started. We'll sit nice and tall. We'll take the left hand down to the mat, right hand reaching up and over. And just notice how it feels to lift up into that right side body. Notice how it feels in the QL area, the lower back, the side waist, in between the ribs. Nice and relaxed around the jaw, the neck. Exploring space, an area that can get super juicy and tight for many of us. And then let's slowly come back through to center, right hand to the earth, left hand up and over. And we lift up actively into that left side body. And we notice briefly how it feels from one side to the other. Nice, and then let's slowly come back through center, spine stays long. We'll do one more round in each direction. So left hand down as we lift up into that right side body. Nice and relaxed everywhere else, inviting space with every breath that we take. And then come on back through center for the final time on the second side, lifting up through the left side. Shoulder might draw back, fingers might reach a little further. Perfect, and then let's come back through to center. From here, we're going to make our way into our tabletop position. So we've got our hands nice and wide, shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. Some simple cat and cows with the magic potion of yoga. Every single time I come to this shape, it feels so wonderful. So let's slowly start to soften the belly, let the heart come forward, tailbone naturally lifting. And as we exhale, we push the ground away. We round through the upper back. We draw the chin towards the chest. We separate through the shoulder blades. And then inhale, we slowly make our way back through center. Chest opens a little more, front body opening. And we exhale and round through the spine. And notice how it feels in the lower body, the lower back, mid back, upper back. Let's take 3 more rounds here using our own breath. And just slowly starting to awaken the tissues along the front and back of the spine here. Consider this your own little hydration system. A way to create some space in all of those tissues that connect to upper and lower body here. We've got one more breath. Perfect, and then slowly come on back to neutral. From here, we're going to take our right hand to the back of the head, and as we inhale, reaching the elbow up towards the sky. And as we exhale, soften the left elbow, reaching the right one across the mat towards the left side as much as you can, and the inhale brings that elbow back up towards the sky. As we exhale, we'll reach a little bit further through. And as we inhale, we lift a little higher. And this time as we exhale, reach the arm through as far as you can. Now reach the hand as far through as you can. So you come to rest on the shoulder and the side of the head. And then with the left arm, let's reach it up towards the sky here. Some of us might keep that arm lifted. You might bend the elbow, hand on the lower back or the right side of the waist. And just notice how it feels to get into that thoracic spine, that upper back territory. An area that does not have so much mobility or space, as it's doing its job of supporting the heart and lungs. And yet we still want to find as much ease of movement here as we can. One more big breath. And then slowly release that left hand back down to the earth. This time, as you push the ground away, can you reach the right hand as high to the sky as you can? And then return the hand back down to the mat. Let's go to our second side. So left hand comes to the back of the head. On an inhale, elbow reaches to the sky. On an exhale, we reach the elbow across towards the right side of the mat. Inhale, we reach it all the way back up as far as we can. Exhale, reaching through and under. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. And as we exhale this time, reaching the arm through as far as we can, head and shoulder rest to the earth. We take the right arm up to the sky, shoulder draws back. We bend the elbow, hand comes to the lower back or maybe even left side of the waist here. Nice and relaxed. We draw the shoulder back as far as we can. Briefly aware, similarities, differences, one side to the other. One more breath. And then release that right hand back to the ground. We use it to push the earth away. We twist to the left side of the room, left hand reaching up to the sky here. And then the hand returns to the mat. Now we're going to keep the hips above the knees. We're walking the hands forward for melting heart pose. And we're resting the forehead or perhaps the chin for some of us down to the ground. Hands can be wide as the mat, hands can be closer in. Noticing where the position is that feels best for your shoulders, your chest. Notice how when you slow down the breath, we find a little bit more ease in that upper body as we let the nervous system know we're in this safe place to practice. Reversing the effects of sitting down, the bad posture that inevitably creeps in with that practice of sitting. One more big breath, just melting and surrendering downward. And when you finish that big breath, ever so slowly start to lift the chest away from the ground. Walk the fingers back to being underneath the shoulders here. And then let's slowly start to work our way to downward facing dog. So we'll tuck the toes under, lift the hips up towards the sky. Find that hand position that works for you, fingers as broad as you can. And let's start to walk the dogs. We're lifting one heel, bending the same knee, getting some movement through the back of the legs. And each time that we reach the heel down towards the ground, just noticing how it feels through the back of the ankle, the calf, the hamstrings. Can you use the hands to really push the ground away, lifting up nice and high to the sky? Notice how it feels around the shoulders. Give the head a little shake from side to side, neck nice and relaxed. And on the inhale, can you start to lift the right leg upward, three-legged downward dog? As you exhale, bend the knee, open the hip up towards the side of the room. Just notice how it feels through the back of the left leg. Maybe even a couple of circles with the knee here, whichever direction, whatever shape or size. And then slowly, let's start to square the hips to the ground. Bring the knee towards the chest, and then you'll place the foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Come onto the top of the foot, and let's rise on up to our crescent pose here. And as we sink down, I want you to almost grip the mat with the feet, so it sort of draws you back a little bit from the mat here. Imagine a beach ball between the hands, so you feel the upper back muscles start to fire a little as well here. Sensation coming through the front of that left hip, power in the legs. And then as we sink a little bit further down to the ground, can you think about everything from the belly button up, lifting and rising? Take a nice big breath here. Let's stay strong in the legs, turn the palms to face forward. Let's bend the elbows to a cactus position here. And as you inhale, lift up through the chest. Can you draw the shoulder blades towards each other? So there's this feeling of space arriving through the inside line of the arm, the chest. Take a nice big breath just here. Perfect. And then slowly lower the hands to the ground or take blocks underneath of the hands here. We're going to draw the left hip back so we start to straighten out the right leg, toes pointing towards us. Inhale is that nice long spine, and as we exhale, we lower down into the back of that leg. Now you can keep it still here and stay just in this shape, or as you inhale, you can bend the knee, let that left hip melt down to the ground, chest opens. And on your exhale, drawing the hip back. So you're alternating between the front of the left leg in terms of sensation and the back of the right leg. And we'll be here for 2 more breaths. So you're either staying still in runner's lunge, or you're working more fluidly with your breath here, back and forth. 1 more breath. Noticing what your body needs, letting that be okay. And then we'll slowly arrive back into a position where we're in that lunge, so the bend in the right knee. We'll take the block underneath our left hand, just moving the other one out of the way. And we're going to wiggle the right foot over a touch. Fingers come off the mat in front of you here, so you're leaning forward. And as you inhale, can you start to lift the fingers up to the sky and then slowly reach them towards the back of the mat. And then exhale brings them back to the ground in front of you. And if there's too much, if you don't need the block under the hand here, just move it out of the way. Inhale, arm reaches up to the sky. We're pushing the ground away with the left hand, reaching with the right hand, twisting into the spine here. And exhale, we bring it back down to earth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, fingers reaching backward. Exhale, fingers reach towards the ground. And then last time, inhale, fingers reach up and back. Option to stay here, or we can start to lift up through the left foot. Maybe the hand and foot connect, in which case push the foot into the hand, leaning back, getting that nice beautiful twist through the spine, letting the left hip melt downwards so we get into the psoas area here as well. Take another big breath. Beautiful, and then release the foot. Hand comes back to the top of the mat, wiggle the right foot in a little here, and let's lift the knee as we step back to our plank here. Lower the knees if you need, otherwise chaturanga to the ground. Inhale, baby cobra. And as we exhale, lower down. Let's come up a bit higher second time. Inhale, coming into a fuller back bend here, cobra. And then from here, tuck the toes, lift up through the hips. We're back into downward facing dog, that inverted V shape. Hands pushing the ground away, thighs reaching back, noticing how it feels second time around here. We have two sides of the body, so let's inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip up to the side of the room. Let's start to draw a couple of circles, whichever direction feels good in your body, both hands still firm to the earth. And when you finish the second or third of those circles, slowly square the hips back to the ground. Slow motion, bring the knee towards the nose, and then place the foot between the hands. Lower that right knee down, top of the foot to the earth. And then we come on back to the second side of our low crescent. We're gripping the mat with the feet. So instead of allowing ourselves to sink into the hips, we're drawing ourselves back. So we feel it more through that front hip here. Nice big breath. Nice and strong through the shoulders and upper back. And then when you feel ready, we're going to change it ever so slightly on this side to interlace the fingers behind the back. If that doesn't feel good for you, come back into cactus. Otherwise, a lift of the chest. Gaze can be up or forward. Hands are reaching away from the lower back here. Choice to sink a bit deeper into the hips. And then keep on lifting, rising, expanding through that front body. Nice and relaxed around the jaw and the neck. And then when we finish our current breath, release the hands, right hand to the ground. Wiggle that left foot over, just a touch. And we're going to take a block under the right hand if we need, otherwise left hand reaches forward on an inhale. We're going to start to lift the fingers up to the sky as we reach back, continuing the in-breath here. And as we exhale, we reach the fingers forward and off the mat. Inhale, fingers reach back. We invite the twist in the spine. And exhale, we fold. One more time, inhale, reaching. And then final time, exhale, forward. And then this time we inhale, we reach back. There's the option to stay here using that right hand to push the ground away, or we can start to lift up through the right foot, maybe hand and foot connect. If they do, we push the foot into the hand, we lean back. Otherwise, we're actively reaching the two together. So we get that stretch through the front of the right hip, this beautiful juicy twist through the spine, and this strengthening motion through the back of the right leg. One breath. And then let's slowly release the foot. Hand comes to the ground. Let's wiggle that left foot in a little. And let's add in the lunges again here, slightly different order. Same thing to come. So blocks under the hand. As we exhale, we draw that right hip back. Straightening out the left leg, lowering the torso down towards the leg here. Remember, we have the option to stay static in this particular hold, or we can inhale, bend the knee, open up the chest and the front of the hip. On the exhale, we draw back into runner's lunge. 2 more breaths like this, either stationary or inhaling to bend. Exhale, working into the back line of the body again. Last breath like this, inhale. And then that nice long nourishing exhale here. Perfect. We end on the inhale, so we meet each other back with that bend in the knee. The blocks come to the side, hands either side of the foot. We tuck the toes, we lift the knee. We step back one more time to plank. Option to go to down dog. Chaturanga, your choice of uplift. So we celebrate the space through the front of the body. And then we slowly make our way back into one final downward dog where we check for the 3rd time here, how does my body feel? Take a nice big breath as we arrive. And then let's take our gaze just beyond the middle of the mat. Soften those knees, walk the feet just past the middle of the mat, and then lower the bottom down to the ground. And let's bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle pose. Interlacing the fingers around the toes. We'll sit nice and tall as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, we start to fold forward. Fingers might reach forward. Tuning in and noticing how our body's feeling here. How it feels to get into that inner thigh area, into the lower back, areas that can get super congested from sitting down, from moments of stress, repeatedly showing up in our lives. And this practice just invites this sense of awareness. Where do I hold my tension? Where do I need to create a bit more ease? One more breath here. And we slowly begin the journey of rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. We guide the knees back to center. We place the legs a little further down and we make a little space to lie down onto our mats. Feel free to add a twist into your practice here if you feel as though you need that. Otherwise, we slowly journey into Shavasana here, taking up as much space as you need on the mat as you let the whole of the back line of the body just melt down towards the ground. And closing your eyes as you come into this place of simply being. Slowly starting to bring the smallest movements back into the fingers and the toes. Reaching the arms up overhead, inviting that full body stretch. And drawing the knees in towards the chest, giving them a hug as you roll a little from side to side, back and forth. Eventually coming to roll over and rest for a moment on whichever side of the body feels best. And then keeping your eyes closed, using your hands to push the ground away as you lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. And taking a moment to notice how you're feeling. A sense of ease, freedom in the tissues, in the body, in the mind. Let's see if we can carry this sense of awareness with us into the rest of our day. Bringing the hands together at the heart as we bow the heads of the hands in gratitude for our practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.